YouTube, how the heck you doing? This is Corey here with Watcher of Realms. So we have a lot of banners that are upcoming, right? So I wanted to go ahead and post this basically right before the banners go ahead and go live tomorrow, specifically because we have a lot of interesting things, and I want to be kind of like the final, like, hey, don't summon, right? Or at least I'm going to explain why you should summon and why you shouldn't summon, just in case you're really wondering. So we have a couple of banners coming up. We have this amazing Narissa banner, which includes Narissa and a choose your own hero. And then we also have this ancient banner, which is Torador and Yovar. And then we also have this Nation Divine Summoning banner that is also going live, basically all within the span of these next 3 days, or 2 days really. We're having a lot of really good things come out. So first and foremost, should you summon for the Narissa banner, right? Now, if you are missing a unit like Pharisee, for example, you 1000% should go ahead and summon for Narissa. She's absolutely fantastic from all the things that I've personally played with on the test server. She's really good, right? And if you have missed out on Pharisee, you do have the unique ability to go ahead and choose Pharisee on the second side of the banner, so that you'd be pulling for either Narissa or Pharisee, and you'd have a pretty good chance of getting at least one of them. Also, you have the ability to go ahead and also choose units like Elwyn, units like Silas if you're missing it for your Vierna, or even the inverse, right? Getting Vierna if you have Silas. There's a lot of really good opportunities, at least on this particular banner, to go ahead and get a unit that you really are looking for. Now, Narissa is fantastic. She goes ahead and gives that AoE damage reduction 20%, and then if you go ahead and get her A1, you are getting that to 30%, which is above what Pharisee goes ahead and provides. Also, what's really good is she does provide her own sense of damage, but it's a little bit minor compared to like an actual damage dealer. But she also goes ahead and breaks a lot of conceived notions about how we go ahead and place our units. So if you're really looking for a damage reduction unit, she is definitely going to be something that you really want to seek out. I would argue that she might have the potential, at least right now within the format of this game, to be a top 2 healer right next to Elwyn. And then also she is going to definitely rival Pharisee in terms of popularity, just because of what she's able to do, especially once you're able to go ahead and get her A1. So that's one thing. If you're really just looking for a unit, right, to go give that damage reduction, Narissa. If you're also looking to just pair her with a unit that you don't have, like for me, if I were to summon for this, I'd probably choose like Beelzebub or Magda, just because of how useful they are for the Gear Raid 1, or even for the Codex, specifically speaking for Beelzebub as well, right? So that's one of the banners. So if you want to go ahead and summon for it, go ahead. Now we also have this Divine Nations, or this Nation Divine Summoning banner, right? Now this is interesting because this is the second time they've gone ahead and run this. Before they would run it with the rare summoning crystals, but I'm assuming that this is their way to go ahead and kind of push the player base away from hoarding their divine crystals. But truth be told, divines are very low priority, and so if you want to go ahead and summon, I would strongly recommend the only banner to summon on would be this one, right? If you have stockpiled a ton of divines, just go ahead and summon for it. I would personally, if this were me, I would go ahead and wait till the Friday and then summon for the Nation, see what unit I get, and then I would go to the lucky pick invocation and then flip it. And so let's say I want a Elwyn, right? Because I don't have Elwyn. I do on my account, but let's say I didn't, right? I would summon the Divine Nation. Let's say I go ahead and get Elwyn. Awesome. That means whenever I go ahead and do the lucky pick invocation, I will choose a unit that is not Elwyn. That way I'm able to go ahead and get a new unit potentially. Or if I'm really just chasing awakenings, I'm going to go ahead and just summon for whoever on a Divine Nation, and then just go ahead and pull for maybe awakenings, right? Let's say I go ahead and get Pharisee on the Divine Nation, and then I'll go ahead and put Pharisee on the lucky pick invocation. I get 4 more copies of Pharisee. Awesome, right? I have A4 Pharisee at that point. So that's just one thing to go ahead and look at as a potential option. Now we have this really interesting ancient banner as well that is upcoming. We have Torador and Yovar, who are really, really important for this game, especially right now. Yovar is incredibly important for BP. He's good for anti-air arena. He's essential for anti-air arena, if we're being honest. He's also really, 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 I would say, mandatory for the Kriya Codex. So there's a lot of things that Yovar specifically is really, really good for and really sought after. Then we also have Torador here, who is the Nightmare Lord, who is clearly the better Nightmare Lord. A lot of flexibility. He also is very, very popular in Abyss 1 teams, even if he is not the faction lord, just because that defense down that he goes ahead and provides. So definitely something to look out for. It's very interesting that they are going ahead and doing a double ancient banner with these two units in particular. I think it's bait. I think all this, for the most part, is relatively bait. I think the only one that feels comfortable, right, is the Divine Nation. The Lucky Pick invocation is fine. However, it's going to exhaust a lot of your summons potentially, because you're going to want to continue to pull for a unit, especially if you go ahead and put it on your list. Like, oh, Narissa's on the banner and then I want Elowen. Let's say I go 0 for 5 for Elowen. I am no longer having any summons, right? So I'll be a little bit careful with this, but this ancient banner is 1000% bait. Now, we went ahead and they went ahead and gave us basically two, I'd say, dang near like S tier lords, right? In terms of what they were able to do. But then it makes you question why. Because we also recently went ahead and got a Ymrit Valdron banner, which is also a double lord banner. So what it means is, in some way, shape, or form, they're trying to exhaust your ancient summons, which take a little bit of time to go ahead and accumulate. Let's be honest, maybe like 40 to 50 per month, right? But they're trying to exhaust your ancient summons just because they know people are going to pull for these two units in particular. It's almost a must pull, especially if you do not have them, just because of how much they will open up your account in terms of Guild Boss 1, Guild Boss 2, APOC, specifically when I say Guild Boss 2, and then Abyss, right? And then on top of that, Arena. It's just a little bit too good to ignore. However, if you have the units, you can comfortably ignore them and justify holding your summons. Reason being is because in about 2 weeks from now, right, we should start seeing the anniversary go fully into effect. And I strongly, strongly suspect we're probably going to get either an Ingrid banner or a new Lord, potentially. If it were me, and just like full transparency, I strongly think we're getting a new unnamed unit within these next couple of weeks here, because they dropped Ymrit around that anniversary time period. And so I think they're going to follow the trend of every anniversary is going to be a new unnamed unit. So if it were me, I'm personally going to hold my summons. I do have Yovar, I do have Torador. I have Yovar A1 and then Torador A0, but it's not going to benefit me. I think what's most likely to happen is they're going to go ahead and exhaust your summons, and then once we get to the actual anniversary, they're going to give us a lot of summons, but then also give us a really, really sought after unit that's going to also exhaust all the summons that they went ahead and gave us. So if you can, stack up your summons and then just see, because truth be told, you can summon for Yovar and get Torador a multitude of times. You can summon for Torador and get Yovar a multitude of times, right? It might not be worth it for your account in the long run to have an A3 Torador versus whatever new potential Lord or a new Ingrid copy that you can go ahead and snag. It just depends, right? So I strongly think that this is bait, and I would not summon on it. I would not summon on the Ancient. Only one I would hardcore summon on and recommend is the Divine Nation, and then you can consider the Lucky Pick, but it's a very good chance that we're also going to go ahead and get a limited as well. So all of this sounds a little too good to be true. Not gonna lie, especially considering we know that anniversary is around the corner. See ya.